Good evening. Let me ask you this question. How much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. Good evening, my name is Dave Stevens. It's my pleasure to be up here speaking before you. Who am I? Where did I come from? What do I do? These are all three good questions you expect to be answered during this speech. However, being just under 30 years old, I've lived a pretty full life. I couldn't do it justice to try to squeeze all that within this short amount of time. So today I'm just going to kind of give you a broad overview of who I am and what I do. And I'm going to use the analogy of a pyramid to help me explain this. So first, what does every pyramid begin with? A solid base. You've got to have a good foundation. I think you all would agree with me that your foundation is the same as mine. It's your family. My parents made me the man who I am today. However, it's my wife and my 2 children that continue to make me the man who I am. I married my high school sweetheart. We met when we were sophomores in high school. That was 14 years ago. And we got married 10 years ago. We have a beautiful daughter, Victoria Nicole, who's 10 going on 17. And another daughter, Gwyneth Michelle, who's 7 years old. They both show me the meaning of life every day. My youngest daughter is visually impaired. She's actually legally blind. So she shows me perseverance and determination each and every day. That gave me the solid foundation to build my life's pyramid. So above that foundation, we get to the body of the pyramid. Every pyramid has tunnels, dead ends, booby traps, and other paths that you can take. Mine's no different. My first path in life began when I was graduating high school. I was given an opportunity to be a professional stage technician in the entertainment industry. For those of you who may not know what that is, I did all the lighting, the sound, the set building, and the stage management for rock bands, hip-hop artists, musicals, Grammys, Oscars. I worked all over the place. And I did that pretty successfully for 1.5 years. But then I had my daughter, and I said I didn't want to be an absentee father. I didn't want to be a father parenting from a distance. So I took the opportunity to move home. That's where my dead end happened, and I started excavating a new path. At the same time, I was given a phone call by one of my former teachers at the high school saying, hey, we're coming up with a new performing arts high school in Long Beach. Are you interested in doing the technical theater aspect of it, build up this new program? Sure, jumped at the chance. 19 years old, heading up a brand new technical theater department. Did it for 9 years. I just left recently, about 1 year ago, and that's where my booby trap happened. I trained over 1,000 high school students to be professional stage techs. I loved what I did. I loved the impact they gave me. I loved the impact that I had on them. Some went on to earn master's degrees and bachelor's degrees in technical theater. Some are out on tour right now. I'm waiting for one of them to get the first Tony, because they all promised me they'll give it to me when they get it. But the politics within administration is just horrible at a public high school. And I decided that my passion was gone and I did not belong there anymore. So I excavated a new path. Went back to school. I graduated from Long Beach City College with my Associate Arts in Communication Studies with high distinct honors. I'm currently at Cal State Long Beach holding on to a 4.0, and I'm trying. It's finals week this week. I hold on to my 4.0 at Cal State Long Beach, studying communication studies, focusing on interpersonal communication and conflict resolution, which there really is no resolution to conflict if any of you are curious. It's just managing the conflict is more like it. I'm contemplating either going into grad school or going into law school. I don't know where my journey is going to take me yet. I'm still excavating that path, and hopefully it leads me to the riches and the booties that lay within the pyramid. But every pyramid ends with a capstone up top. What's my capstone going to be? Is it going to be the all-seeing eye like the dollar bill? Or is it going to be gold encrusted? Or is it just going to be plain Jane? I don't know. That won't be decided until I leave. When my time here on earth is done, my capstone will be built. But there is a quote that I'm going to leave you with tonight that helps me build that capstone as I'm here. And that quote is, always aspire to inspire before you expire.
Good job. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's a good start to the evening. Speaker number 2. Another new speaker, Heidi Morales. Let me introduce Heidi. Heidi is returning to Toastmasters and glad to be back. Admitting, not as an apology, but she says, I'm a little bit rusty. She's operating from the CC manual, project number 5. Title, Your Body Speaks. The title of her speech is, How Optimism Got Me to Be More Active. The objectives of the speech is, use movements, stance, and gestures to achieve the speech purpose. The time she's asking for is 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me to welcome Heidi Morales.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. From the time we wake up to the time we lay down at night, we constantly make decisions. Some decisions we make unconsciously, some we make very consciously. Today I ask you, are we making the right decisions? Decisions regarding what? Decisions are lifestyle in regards to your health. The choices you make eating, the choices you make being active. What choices are you making? The day of my realization that I needed to be more active was sometime last year, I would say over a year ago. My friends were all getting together and doing a mud run. They said, hey Heidi, you want to participate in this mud run? I said, well, what does it entail? They said running 5K, that's 3 miles, and doing a lot of obstacles where you're climbing up ropes, coming up walls. And that's the day I realized, hey, I may not be fit for the task. That was the day that I realized I needed to make better health choices and make a change. So I came up with a plan. My plan was, let me start by changing my eating habits. Let me look at what I'm consuming, why am I, in the more out of shape. Let me look at my lifestyle. What am I doing to be active? Am I working out? Am I just taking the elevator instead of the stairs? And the last thing was, how do I keep this going? I've gone in so many diets. I've worked out before, but I always go back to not working out. So what are the things I'm gonna do? Okay, so step 1, how do we change our eating habits? What did I do? I looked at a journal. I started writing down what I intake. I realized that I was making a lot of bad choices. I was having a hard day at work, coming home, having ice cream, it's a long day, maybe some wine. And then I realized that that's not the way to have a healthy lifestyle. It has to be more of a balanced approach. It has to be maybe once a week cheat day. So I really took it upon myself to write my journal, which I still write every day, and it's more of a balancing act. Okay, if I had something heavy last night, then I'm gonna have a salad today. And instead of chips, I'm gonna have vegetables. So with that, it has helped me with having a better, a balanced diet. Step 2, going to the gym. I joined a gym that I love. I'm currently a member. It's a boot camp, which has a CrossFit. So I'm definitely not in the CrossFit area where people are lifting weights. And I don't want to get to that area. I just want to be more active. So I joined the boot camp section of the class. And in the boot camp, it's just a lot of self. So you're doing push-ups, you're lifting up yourself, so you're not actually carrying anything heavy. With that, it is challenging. It was very hard at first, since I was one of the last ones when we would run in the last class. I'm still not 100%. I'm still in the middle, but at least there's progress. As time goes by, little by little, those positive changes has to help me to be more active and be more in shape. So that's a positive change I did. Step 3, how do I stay consistent? How do I keep going? How is it that I'm gonna keep this lifestyle when I've tried it all my life and I always seem to go back to those ways of eating unhealthy, being inactive? Instead of catching the stairs, I would catch the elevator. How do I keep it going? Well, the magic ingredient in this change is optimism, positive thinking. So instead of telling myself, I'm too tired to go tonight, I have too much going on, I have to write a speech, I have to do a speech, I'm barely returning to my Toastmaster class, I say no. I pack my gym bag and I say after my speech, I'm heading to the gym. So that's how I've stayed consistent, just with positive feedback and actually positive self-talk and talking to yourself and saying this effort that I'm making today is this change that's going to keep me consistent, it's going to keep me in shape, and going to keep me going on my goal, which is to be active. Because of these 3 steps that I took of starting to change my eating habits, eating a little healthier, more salads, more vegetables, having my cheat day, can't get rid of your treats. Of being, my second step of being more active, of starting to work out at least 3 times a week, you know, doing those push-ups, doing those jumping jacks. Because of that, I continued with my optimism and being positive, stay consistent with the workouts and keep going and not give up. So that's what the promise I made to myself. Even if I'm tired, I will still work out this week. I will still make that effort to go to the gym. Because of that, I just did a mud run, 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yes, I did, and I was actually able to keep up. And it was funny because I told my friends, like, you know, if I hold you guys back, just don't wait for me, just keep going. But then I was running and I was realizing that I was leaving them behind. So that was a positive change that I did. And I continue to do my workouts, so I actually can lift weights now, which I was unable to do before. So now I turn it over to you. Are you making the correct choices in your life to just have a more active and healthy lifestyle? How can optimism help you and that positive feedback help you make a different choice in your life? Thank you.
The daunting beast was close to me. He was throwing his breath all over me while looking at me with his devilish, deep blue eyes. He must have been about 4 foot tall, 5 foot long, and maybe weigh about 150 pounds. Needless to say, I was scared to death to be next to this magnificent Alaskan wolf. My apprehension next to him was exactly the same feeling that I had when I'm ready to give a speech. Shaky knees, churning stomach, dry throat. Then, with his long tongue, he slobbered my entire face. And to make sure that I got the message right, he slobbered me again, while offering me his paw, as he's saying, "Brother human, don't be afraid of me. I mean no harm to you." So with that friendly gesture, I approached him and shook his paw. I wanted to spend more time with Brother Wolf, but unfortunately, there was a long line waiting to have their pictures taken with the wolf. So I stepped off the area where they had the wolf, and I started leaving the room. Then his handler came up to me and said, "Wait, let me tell you something." I says, "Okay, what do you have to tell me?" She says, "You know, wolves are considered to be spiritual animals, together one with nature. And the reason why he behaved like that is because he sensed that you love animals and that you love nature," which is true. Then she proceeded to say, "My name is Tanya Little Wolf," and that she was invited at the conference, at the spring conference, which Toastmasters was hosting. And she said that she was invited to that conference to receive the C&L award, the Communications and Leadership Award, which is given to that person or institution that does great things for humanity and society. She also mentioned to me that she was there with the wolf to raise awareness of the institution called Wolf Mountain Habitat, which is an organization that is trying to raise awareness of the wolf behavior and funds so that they can do their thing preparing, or rather protecting the wolf. The organization is located in Sun Valley, Southern California, and also its purpose is to protect and manage the wolf that in captivity and in the wild, with having its ultimate purpose of protecting the wolf from becoming extinct. At that nice conversation, then I was really pleased at my recent experience. So I started walking out of the room to join my wife next door in the conference room to prepare ourselves for the international speeches. As I was in my seat, looking at all the speakers that were being introduced, the apprehension that I had with the wolf earlier came on to me again, because I felt inadequate in the presence of such elite work of public speakers, because I knew that one of those speakers, the winner of that contest, was going to Malaysia to compete for the title of World Champion of Public Speaking. I felt like a little wolf, yearning to join the pack of Toastmaster wolf, which surrounded me. But then it hit me. But I am a member of the pack because I'm a Toastmaster. And all of these speakers there, great as they are, all they're doing is just practicing their craft. And they are also teaching less eloquent people like me the secrets of their success. Having then found this reassuring, then I was ready to listen to their speeches. The speeches were great, they were eloquent, they were inspirational, but what made that spring conference unique to me was the fact that I was able to shake hands with Brother Wolf. Finally, I'd like to mention that Toastmasters International holds two conferences during the year. One in the spring, which just passed, and another one in the winter, around October, November. My fellow Toastmasters, I'd like to encourage you, no, beg you, to attend one of these conferences, because I promise you, it will change your life. Whether it be a one-to-one with you at one of the tremendous conferences, or maybe an inspirational speech that will touch your heart, or maybe a memorable moment like I had with Mother Nature in the figure of Brother Wolf.